you need to you basically, your teammates have to be, it's a team game obviously, but it's all mechanics. You need to know, the best possible thing you can do is know every class, honestly. You want to know when the other team uses their cooldown, so that way after they're up, that's when you have your opportunity to get kills. So knowing every single class and what their main abilities are is the main thing to get really high glad status.
And that's why PTR helps a lot,
Yep,
right?
exactly. Because you
Unless
can
you're
play
running
around.
jungle cleave, then you just roll your face across the keyboard.
Yeah, right. The Pharaoh has to be
I
really
run
good.
Cleave normally.
But yeah, like I said, man, learn every ability in the game, that like all main abilities, and you will become, that'll increase your rating just by knowing that. Because you want to force defensives on the other team. The whole purpose of arenas at high rating.
They have too, yeah.
Yeah, you want to force their defensives, so that way after their defensives are up, you get a CC chain, and that's your kill. If you, once you get that executed right and know everything, how like what their defensives are and what certain comps are, really the comps don't even matter as much as knowing the abilities of every certain class, because there's such a mixture of classes that it's just best to know all the abilities, like I said. But after you know all the abilities, then you want to focus on your comp, like the comp that you're playing. You want to synchronize your CCs and find out your CC chain, and that way you don't overlap your, like let's say you're playing a priest, right? So you don't want to fear over a blind, you know what I mean? Like, so you want to have your, for me, for example, I always start out with a scattered trap. Usually, depending on some situational things, like I can't scatter because they can read it. Keeps DCing, man. But sometimes I have to like stun into a trap, or it's situational, but you'll learn that as you just want to get a main base of who goes first for setting up CCs, because my scattered trap is only like 40 seconds, so I want to set that up first. Sometimes it forces a trinket, which is great, that's what we want, and then into like a cyclone if I'm playing with a druid, a pharaoh for example, and then a fear after that. Like, it's just, you want to
like time our CC.
Right. You want to know who's gonna do the first CC, and they have to call out whether or not they get it or not. If I miss a trap, I have to say that. Otherwise, they're gonna assume that I hit. Which, if I didn't, that's obviously a big thing. So then, if I miss, I say it, and then he knows to set up hit. Whoever's next goes next. Like, it's all about communication and knowing every class really, and then setting up your CC. CC is everything at high ratings. Getting your CC right,
I agree,
is everything.
CC is so much more important than damage at high rating.
Oh yeah.
And one little tip for you with Warlocks and Priests. Warlocks and Priests, they both have Fierce, they also have Force. So, you're the Priest, right?
Yeah.
So when you use, what's it called? What's that move that disarms an opponent as well? Psychic Horror?
That's Horrify.
Yeah.
Or Horrify. Yeah,
that's
you
Shadow.
use that. Oh, your disc?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind, I'm sorry. I thought you were playing Shadow.
I don't know. Probably the number one thing.
Yeah, Horrors and Fears are different. So, like, if I use Mortal Coil and it makes him run for 3 seconds, that's different than a Fear. So you can use those little things to help.
For diminishing returns, yep, exactly.
Exactly.
And knowing that, that's like knowing classes. Certain things are going to diminish returns with other things. So that's why certain comps are sucky. Usually the worst comps are ones that have DR.
Yeah, share DR together.
Yeah. You want to be able to get as much CC as possible out of your comps, and that's what makes it strong. The reason, yeah, the reason why I believe Jungle Cleave is so strong right now is because the DRs don't really share. Plus, Pharaoh bleeds right now are retarded. Plus Hunter damage. I mean, it's so hard to survive. If Jungle Cleave is synced really good and they get their CCs right, I mean, their damage is just, it's so much pressure just by the damage alone. But once they get that, once they get the synchronization of the CCs, I mean, it's insane. Plus with Priest heals, Priest right now, Jesus man, it's just so comfortable to play it.
And that's why I'm trying to play Holy, because you get Holy Word Chastise. Because like right now, all I have.
That's like a little mini stun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a monkey for a pet. It's like a monkey's like Bad Manners. I don't know if you know that spell.
Yep.
It's like that. It's like a Disorient.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I can use that and do a Fear into a Siphoned. But as disc, I only have Fear and Siphoned.
Also, you want to be able to adapt to, like, it's all about the knowledge, like Shane was saying. You want to be able to adapt to classes as well. So, I mean, if you're going to play casters, Siphon is what you really want. But if you're playing, like, if you're playing, like, melee classes, then you might want Void Tendrils. Or if you're, if you're facing a Hunter, you might want Void Tendrils. So then when he pops his Stampede, you can just root all of them right there. And they're going to need, like, a Master Spell to get all that off.
That's a true point.
So it basically breaks down to exactly what Shane said. You just want all the knowledge, basically, of all the classes.
That's all it is. That's gonna make
knowledge, and it's knowledge and CC. That's all it is.
Knowing all it is.
Ability not to You need to fucking not miss stuns or interrupts.
Yep.
That's the #1 thing is people that don't use arena frames or click on fucking frames. You gotta be able to get those interrupts on those heals.
And you should start developing focus macros too, so you can develop focus macros.
Oh yeah,
so
I have a bunch of focus macros.
Okay, good.
I always use macros and stuff like that.
Awesome.
It's just that it's that 200 rating hump that I just can't get over.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah.
You'll get over it if you do what I said, man. It's all about knowing the knowledge of. You basically, it boils down to, you want to force defensives on the other team so that they can't get out of your CC. Once you have those defensives forced out of them, that's when you set up your chain CC, and that's when you get the kills, and that's when you get the rating, the higher rating. That's what all higher teams, like, it's for sure. There's no way a team's gonna ever get glad if they don't know the other class's abilities to make, you know what I mean? Even offensive, you want to know when they're going to go hard on you so that you guys can go defensive to survive it and not get stuck in a chain CC and not use your defensives to survive. You know what I mean? It's a lot to learn, but you'll learn it from reading, and that's what I did. I mean, I try to play classes just a little bit so that I can actually read their abilities and know what it is, exactly what it does. And then, like Arena Junkies, I always read that stuff.
Or you can also watch it. Like
MMO Champion, I read that stuff.
Well, I actually love to read, so that'll work out pretty well for me.
That's good, man. I do too. That's all I do is read anything I do, not just games, but anything. I love to read about it so that I know. I like knowledge, man. Knowledge is everything to me.
Knowledge is power.
It is.
Yeah.